Hi there. You know, a lot of people have said, hey, Bob, you should do a full-on carpet python video that talks about all the different carpet pythons. And my first reaction, obviously, is, hey, don't tell me what to do. You're not my mom. But then I take a deep breath and I realize that's actually not a bad idea, except I only have 2 carpet pythons, and one of them isn't even a carpet python. So I wouldn't consider myself an authority on the subject. You know, if I'm going to do a carpet python video, I should probably find someone who's an expert in carpet pythons. Hey guys, check it out. I'm at Riley's Reptiles with my friend Riley Jimison. He's the guy to do a carpet python video with. Here's what I think I want to do, Riley, if it's okay with you. Let's get a really big, impressive carpet python and take it outside, and I'm going to ask you some questions about carpet pythons. Let's do it. Dude, good choice.
Yeah, she's spectacular.
So tell me about her.
So this is Eris. She is a 2011 jungle carpet python produced by my mentor and good friend Todd Dyer of Psychotic Exotics. And she's kind of on the big end of what, you know, you can push jungles to. She's just shy of 7, maybe just shy of 8 feet, actually.
Okay.
So she's on the bigger end. I definitely have adults that are nowhere near as large as her, but she's a sweetheart, man.
But she's also old. Like, she's not a young carpet python.
Correct. At 14 years old, she's definitely been around.
Yeah, yeah. So you bring up a good thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which is sizes of these different carpet pythons. But before we get to that, you work with all the carpet pythons, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
It's a toss-up. You know, any given day, I could be feeling slightly different, but I have to say the Paupuan carpets are my favorites.
Okay.
And they're a little bit on the smaller side.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Just a hair. You can influence that with feeding, of course, but in my opinion, they tend to stay on the smaller end.
Okay, so I want to know why, but first, before I say that, just for anybody who's not familiar with carpet pythons, what we're talking about is different species of carpet pythons. These are animals from Australia, and there are different species. They look different. They act a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the Papuans.
So they are the only ones you can actually still legally import coming from Papua New Guinea. The island of Papua was separated from Australia only so many thousand years ago through water levels rising. So they haven't separated too much, but they are kind of on their own trajectory different from the other ones. They have more earthy tones. They're a little bit smaller.
As a pet, is there a behavior difference that you notice?
Not so much. You know, behaviorally, carpet pythons kind of act pretty similar across the board.
Okay.
Great feeders, rather nocturnal, pretty curious, active when they come out. You'll get a little bit of variation within them as personality varies, but no, just a little bit of color and size differentiation. I will say the Papuans tend to like a little bit more humidity. Some of them will soak a bit more or flood their water bowls if they feel a little bit dry, but sure. Otherwise, they're not too much different.
So they're on the smaller end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Jungles are kind of mid.
I would say.
The spectrum, right?
I would say, yeah. They average between 5 and 7 feet, male to female.
And diamonds are bigger? Is that?
Diamonds can definitely get bigger. Yeah, I've seen some 8-9 foot diamonds, especially from my friends over in Australia that find them in the wild. And Peter Birch of Critter Cam has shown some fantastic animals that are quite large.
Wild.
Yeah, wild. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I love his stuff. Hi, babes.
She makes a lot of noise. You hear all that exhalation as she's moving around. It's like they have one long lung, so as they're moving around and doing stuff, what you're hearing is air coming in and out.
They're kind of noisy like that.
They can be, and a lot of people either get worried that there's a respiratory issue or that they're grumpy or something, and it's just them kind of huffing and moving.
I just saw that on Facebook the other day. Somebody was like, my carpet python is, I can hear them breathing. What do I do? And everybody's like, it's a carpet python.
Yeah. Some of them just do that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's take a look at another one.
Yeah.
This is great. I love this because, so I asked you when we turned the camera off, I asked you if we can get a diamond and a Paupuan because I wanted to get your favorite carpet python and my favorite carpet python.
Yeah.
And talk about them.
So what you have in your hand is a 2-year-old Gary Valle line diamond python. Gary Valle is a legendary diamond breeder who's no longer doing it, but definitely put a lot of decades in pioneering into them. So
enough to have his own line.
Enough to have his own line.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you see GV line diamonds, it's talking about Gary Valle. So really great quality animals. I gotta have all the carpets. So I, unfortunately took way too long to get into diamonds. So better late than never. But this guy right here is arguably my most notorious Paupuan carpet. This is Redman, and he was actually an F1 that I produced in 2019 from some wild caught farm hatched offspring. So basically Dan Malari brought in some offspring from some animals that produced on the farm that he exports from. I brought those in, raised them up, bred them, produced this guy and a few of his sisters, and actually bred them back together this year and made second generations. So
cool.
Because he's so colorful and the offspring he produces are pretty potent, this second generation is pretty nuts.
Cool.
So he's exceptional.
And how old is this animal?
He's about 6 years old.
Oh, okay.
So he's 6 years old, he's fully grown.
So that's snakes grow their whole life, so potentially could get a little bit more size.
Sure.
But that's a big difference between that and the jungle that we just saw.
Yeah, absolutely. And the female Paupuan carpets that I have are a bit bigger, but even still not as big as that female jungle we were just looking at. So there is a difference. Now, granted, you can feed them to a point where they're going to hit their genetic maximums, as I like to sort of call them, and you can really push them to hit really large sizes, but it does a disservice to them, and I think it ultimately causes a lot of stress and strain on their internal organs and shortens their lifespan.
Just like overfeeding any snake does.
Sure.
But this, for people that are going from ball pythons and thinking, let me look into these carpet pythons, but I don't want one that gets too big.
Yeah.
Maybe they're looking at this.
Yes. Absolutely.
And you don't have an example of a large diamond python. You just have the one pair that are both about this size.
Correct.
But they'll get bigger than your.
Yeah, you can look at diamond pythons comparable size to jungle carpets for the most part, unless you go heavy on the feeding or have an exceptionally older female. But yeah.
And the cool thing about diamond pythons is these are the furthest south living python in the world. So they live in actually a really cold zone, and you can get them super cold. And really, when you breed them, you got to do that, right? You got to drop them down to what, the 50s, 40s?
Yeah. If you get them into the 50s, that seems to be the key to triggering spermatogenesis in males and follicular development in the females.
Right.
Yeah.
And I noticed you're keeping them in the same room, which is kind of warm, and they're up high, so they're kind of in a warmer area.
Yeah.
And they seem to do okay. You're not trying to keep them cold all the time.
No, I don't keep them cold all the time. However, I don't have heat on them at night. At night, they're ambient and they're by windows. And so if it gets a little bit cooler at night, they're subject to that, where the rest of my carpets, I will have some sort of additional supplemental heat to make up for it if it's not too natural in here. Like if our fall gets a little colder than I want too soon, I might keep that up there, but they're going to get whatever it does at night. And then I use an overhead bassing specifically for them, just to really control that temperature a little bit more. It's very concentrated in one area, and then the rest of the enclosure is just ambient. So the summertime, they get a little bit warmer, but they handle it just fine. And then in the winter, they're rocking.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Speaking of rocking.
Yeah.
This one's going to rock a deuce.
Yeah,
pretty
soon. Probably will.
All right, let's look at some babies.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Riley, what we got here is a baby Darwin.
This is a baby Paupuan carpet.
Baby Paupuan does not like the camera.
A lot of snakes get weary about camera lenses in
their
their face. They'll be sweethearts, but then a camera comes out and they're different.
I know. It's really weird. But what a beauty.
Yeah, so I was telling you about Redman and how potent he was, and then his second generation offspring. So what you have is a second generation of selective breeding for nice color there.
Yeah, beautiful.
And they hatch out red normally, but lose it pretty quickly. And so what's exceptional about these is they're past their second sheds and they're still very, very red.
And Redman is pretty red.
He's very red.
Hence his name, I would imagine.
Yeah, so when he hatched out, he stood out from the clutch. He was a little bit more red than the rest. And then after they all had their first sheds, he retained more than the rest. So he was an instant holdback for me in that regard. That clutch only ended up yielding 2 females, so I ended up keeping both of them. They look nothing like him. One of them is very dark, very, very dark black. The other one has more of that lighter blushing to him, but not anywhere near as nice.
All right, so this is a jungle.
Yeah, this is a zebra.
It's a zebra. Yeah, I was going to say zebra because
that extra busyness.
Yeah, you get. Go up on on that camera. So you get all that rather than the big yellow stripes. You get a bunch of busyness, and more yellow coming in as the snake grows.
Yes.
So that's the thing about when you see jungle carpet pythons at a show, you see a bunch of babies and you go, oh, they're not that yellow, I shouldn't buy that one. That's how they are as babies. The yellow comes in later. So it's good to look at the parents, yeah?
Yeah, they go through about 2 years of a color change. The parents will definitely give you an indicator of how they're gonna age. And this one happened to have some unique little ocelot markings come out. So, down the line, we'll see if those are heritable, but...
So when you say ocelot markings, tell me specifically what you're talking about.
Oh, grouchy girl. These little spots on the side.
Uh-huh.
Those little rosettes, essentially circles.
Cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get Riley to the hospital right now, as you just saw. He's got a serious problem. Okay, here's a little baby Bredl's. How old is this?
This one is 3 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, it's only had its first shed, hasn't even been offered its first meal yet.
And is this, does this have any morph stuff going on?
Nope, these are just true blue, pure Lazic line, Morelia Bredli.
So cool. So my Bredl's python is hypo.
Nice.
And what I've learned about hypo is that they have a reputation for being more reactive than other Bredl's. And he's not reactive at all, but he definitely seems to be more shy than most Bredl's at a year old. He wants to be in his hide most of the time, his sky hide.
Yeah.
And I had somebody from Australia tell me that my Bredl's python shouldn't be hiding that much. I should take the hides away. I said, I'm not going to take it. If he wants to hide, he can hide. He's got plenty of perching options. He does that too. But in fact, he's doing it more. Now that he's a year old, he's perching a little bit more.
Babies are just nervous.
Yeah, and also, these babies, for breeders, they're raised in tubs. And so he lived in a tub at Nick Mutton's place, and then he came to my place and lived in a bigger tub. I made it bioactive, but it was still a tub.
Yeah.
For several months before his cage was ready. So now it's his first time in a cage. So I expect him to hide a little bit.
Yeah, he's going through transitional little stage by stage, getting used to it.
Yeah, for sure. And these babies, carpet babies are reactive, and they should be, because look how tiny they are.
Yeah.
They're just little shoelaces. And we've seen that with the last one you had. This one just bit me. And I don't blame them, man. They should bite. This is, otherwise they wouldn't survive, But they calm way down with just a little bit of work. Yeah. But at 3 weeks old, man, this is kind of a scary prospect for this little one.
Yeah. Everything's potentially a predator. It doesn't have, a whole life of experiences to draw back on and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with this. This is safe, or this isn't.
Right.
Everything is new.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll put him back. Let's grab a Partho baby.
Yeah.
You've got a Partho clutch in here. Because I always forget to explain this, for those who don't know, a Partho clutch means that these babies were produced through parthenogenesis, which is when a female develops viable eggs without using the male's sperm. It happens occasionally. It's pretty rare, but it does happen. And it doesn't create, people say it creates a clone of the female. It doesn't. What it does is it doubles up her genetics. So this was a zebra mom.
Super zebra.
The mom was super zebra.
Yeah, okay. So you're right. So when she's donating that one copy of the zebra gene, it's doubling it. So each baby got, normally a super zebra would give one copy, so every baby would turn out zebra. These all turned out super zebra. Yeah, so it should have been 100% zebras in the clutch. And when I checked on the eggs and saw some patternless heads sticking out, I was a little bit shocked.
Yeah.
And of course, I was thinking, did I throw a different male in? Did I mess things up? And I looked, and I didn't put another male in. That female had never been with another male, never bred. And I produced her, so I know where she's been her whole life. And so we got some of these that popped out, and they're all female, of course, just like mom.
Yeah.
And all 4 of these ones are healthy. There were 7 total, 2 of which were dead in the egg, and 1 did not make it shortly after hatching.
That's the thing about Partho, is that their genetics are not super strong. So you get a number of babies that don't make it. You get a number of babies sometimes that don't make it after their first few weeks. And then, you may end up with a baby that does fine for a while, maybe 7-8 years, and then doesn't do well all of a sudden. Now, many of you may know that I have a Partho baby from Nick Mutton that's a coastal carpet python, and I have an update on her. So let me just give you that update. We're going to do it while we scroll the Horde of Keepers over on Patreon. These are the folks that support the channel, and I really appreciate them. let's dash back to the green room. I'm going to tell you that story. It's a pretty cool update on her. And then we'll come back here. Hi, lady. Hi, are you going to crawl on my face? You gonna crawl on my face? You coming up onto my glasses? She loves glasses. Let me tell you a story about Bella, my carpet python. Bella was a gift from Nick Mutton. She is a baby, a parthenogenesis baby, partho baby. She only has a mom. And the reason that Nick knows that is that he paired one of his males with 3 females this year, and all 3 produced clutches that were only females. And that pretty much means parthenogenesis. The odds would be crazy that you wouldn't have a male in those clutches with that many babies. And, so she's just going to hold me hostage right here, I guess. Not crawled completely on my head. So anyway, the point here is this, that Nick gave her to me because, genetically parthenogenic babies are not very strong. They only have the mom's genetics. We don't know how long they're going to live, So I got an email from Nick recently saying that he had the parents tested and all the babies that he had left tested. And as it turns out, they're not partho babies. They fully have a mom and a dad, which is really interesting because it means that the father has some gene that we've never seen before in pythons where he's incapable of producing males. So that's really interesting. But for me, it's way better news because I really love this snake. I mean, I love all my snakes and I don't want to see any of them die early. But, it was always in the back of my mind that I could wake up one morning and she wouldn't be with us because she doesn't have strong genes. But she does have strong genes, which is great. She's always seemed like she had strong genes. She acts normal and she eats well. She does really great. So anyway, that's that story. We have a genetically strong little Bella here. And that's that. So thanks again to the Patreon supporters, the Horde of Keepers, and special thanks to our channel sponsors, Black Box Cages, Lane Labs, and the Royals Project. Really appreciate them. All right, let's now get back to Riley's reptiles. Hey guys, this is Future Bob and Future Riley here after we've finished the video. I just found out Riley's got a nice normal ball python in a bioactive naturalistic cage. It's real cool. Also, Riley's Reptiles is on YouTube. There's so much carpet python content on there, so check out his channel. Now let's go back to the past. Back to the past.
Yeah,
when we had carpet pythons.
Yeah, to the DeLorean.
Yeah. Okay, so you just saw Bella, my coastal carpet python, and I wanted to see an example of an adult coastal carpet python. This is a big girl. Riley, tell me about her. So
this is, she's going to be 8 this year, I think. And this is a coastal carpet. She's a tiger het axanthic. So the tiger is that full body striping.
Yeah, and she's het axanthic, which mine Bella is axanthic.
Yeah,
but not tiger. So you see the regular pattern on her.
Right.
So this is how long would you say she is?
She's just shy of 7 feet long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So still super manageable.
Yeah, and very sweet.
Yeah, and kind of, for a lot of people, the perfect size. It's not overwhelming. They're not overly strong. They're very strong, but they're not just moving around. They're not overly strong.
Correct.
And yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I've always said that the 5 to 7 foot range is perfect. It's not too large and it's not too small to feel like it's delicate, but you get a little bit of that big snake vibe and energy without having to worry about where one end is and the other end is.
For sure. You feel the animal on you. I like that heaviness of a heavier snake that can, kind of give you a massage as they're moving over you,
Yes. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They get moving though. They don't really sit still. It takes a while for them to slow down. They really just want to explore. And if you put them on your shoulders, they're going to go up and all over the place. So it's a really great species to interact with, in my opinion.
Yeah, and really, these coastals have the genetics to get real big if you feed them that much.
Yeah.
But the idea is, in captivity, we don't want them feeding that much necessarily. You do see them in the wild though in Australia, massive. Because, I don't know, maybe they ate a kangaroo.
Yeah.
Probably not a kangaroo, but,
a big bush possum or a small rock wallaby, absolutely.
Yeah. They're finding big prey. but we don't want to be feeding them that much. We don't want to tax their bodies, and we want them to live a long time.
Yeah, she could have definitely been bigger if I'd have pushed her and not given her winters off and fed her excessively more frequently. She can take large, extra large rats, probably even bigger, no problem. Does she need it? No. Does she need it often? Absolutely not. So right now she eats maybe once every 3-4 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect for her.
Riley, you've got a number of snakes, different. You work with all kinds of different species, not just carpet pythons. We're focusing on carpet pythons today, but maybe next time I'm driving through Sacramento, we can talk about the other stuff that you have.
Yeah, we could talk apodora, rosy boas, all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll go herping.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go herping out here.
Let's do it. All of the above. I'm in.
We'll make the plan. Thanks for having me over here.
Anytime.
Hey, thanks for watching. See you next week.